All right, so we got something interesting going on today. So we have to go and pick up a trailer with this van right here. However, we were driving this truck and we just did this super small pickup right here. Well, I mean, it's not that small, but it's a lot of stuff that would fit inside the van. So the van, we're going to drive it all the way across town. It's about 45 minutes away where we're going to take it to pick up the trailer. The trailer's full. One of the clients filled it up themselves, and we're just going to go pick it up and take it to the dump. However, since we got to go to the dump is going to charge us a minimum fee to dump because all the material that the client that has a trailer put in it is light material. It's a lot of it should be insulation and stuff like that because they're doing a insulation project at the property. So since that's the case, we're going to pay a minimum either way. With that said, I figured, why don't we just drive this truck to pick up this van so that we could put all of that tree debris inside of here, and then we'll go to the dump. You know, since we're already driving 45 minutes away, we'll go straight to the dump from there, empty the trailer, empty the stuff inside the van, have the van, the trailer, this truck empty, and then after that, we got to go and dump our white truck as well. That one's full of trash as well, so we're going to be taking care of that. But as of right now, we're just going to be doing this one, and we'll head on to the van, or we'll head on to the trailer. So I'll show you the process of what that looks like. Check it out. So just a bunch of palm tree fronds. Customers getting ready with the weather changing and everything. I'm getting ahead of it, clearing this stuff out. The client that we picked this stuff from is a repeat client. They always call us up to whenever they do some tree trimming or whenever they get some new furniture, stuff like that, which is awesome. We love our repeat clients. And like you can see, it's just a lot of this stuff. Kind of pokey. I wish I had my other gloves with me. I have some Milwaukee ones that are puncture proof, but I have those in the other truck. It's I should probably carry those gloves for every single truck and use them for every single job, but we usually just get these. They're cheap, they're quick. We buy a bunch of these at once. That way when our Milwaukee ones get ripped or if they get lost, which we lose gloves, that's something that happens a lot, we'll just swap them out with these and call it a day. Yeah. Man, the van's gonna smell real good. It smells like landscape already. That's a trick. The trick is you gotta try to stack a couple of them at once. Try not to get poked. Oh, there you go. They got caught on my glove. Whoa. Ugh. Alright. Stack a few of them up right here. And there we go. This one is ready. Hold it. There it is. I mean, this is kind of an irregular thing. A lot of people don't use the vans, but this van right here is a Chevy Express 3500. It's pretty strong. We've been using it to tow the trailer for, I want to say, a little over 2 years, and that thing is in a tank. Man, this van right here is probably one of the more reliable vehicles that we've had. And I don't know if it's a Chevy thing. I love Fords, so maybe I'm just in self-denial, but I also had a Chevy S10 that we were using, and that thing would get abused. We had that for like 4.5 years or so. We finally sold it in 2023, and that's a truck we started with. And that truck right there, man, never gave us an issue. The only thing we ever had to replace on that truck that gave us a problem was a battery. But other than that, the truck started up every time. I remember somebody tried to steal it once too, outside of my house. We used to park it outside of my house. And somebody tried to steal it. They busted up the whole ignition and everything. So that was an issue we had. But it wasn't the truck's fault. That was just some a-hole that decided that they were going to try to break into it because They got nothing better to do. So that's just what that was. But yeah, other than that, like, we never really had any repair to it. We just did regular maintenance on it, you know, brake pads, fluid changes. We did have to replace tires, but that's just something you get into when you're in the business, just because you always drive to the dump. There's always a bunch of nails and stuff at the dump, a bunch of screws everywhere, so it's just something you got to deal with. But other than that, man, that truck was great. That truck was awesome. It was small. It could fit anywhere. I think we made a mistake when we sold it, but you know, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna climb in here to get some of these over. Whoa. Yeah, and then this truck right here, the one that I'm in, this is our 15 cubic yard truck. So this one right here is, if you were to have about, you know, I would say 15 washing machines, they'd be able to fit in here. It's kind of what they use to measure up the cubic yards. So yeah, it's a thing I like about this is the truck is short. It's an Isuzu NPR. This truck right here can fit in every neighborhood. It could fit inside of tight commercial spaces. It doesn't matter. This truck can go anywhere. So I do love this one. Super awesome truck. I love the space. You know, it's 8 feet wide, it's 10 feet long, but it's 5 feet tall, which is super cool, especially when you're picking up mattresses. Mattresses usually, you know, get up to the wall right there. On the other trucks that are 4 feet, the other ones that we have, the mattress usually stick up the top, which, I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It just kind of sucks if you want to have everything level. You know, if you got, especially when you're carrying around like loose papers and stuff like that, if you got like an air hole, the air goes in there and it can make a mess. So just one of the reasons I really like this truck. And it does have a ramp. So this truck right here was built for junk removal. It was built for what we do. It was built for what we do, and because of that, I love this truck. It's super reliable. Hasn't given us any issues either. Knock on wood. But we haven't had it for that long either. I think we've this truck right here, we've only had it for, I want to say, yeah, this truck right here, we've only had it for about, I'd say maybe, we've been running it consistently for about 1.5 years. Because we had it for a while and then we didn't use it. We just weren't busy enough to use it. We just bought it and it just sat. And of course, it kind of looked ghetto. Like, if I post some pictures or some videos and stuff, I might do that in another post, but it looked ghetto. It was rough. The whole box was rough. And even right now, I mean, it's not the best, but I think it's a good looking truck. You know, we ended up welding these panels right here. All of this wasn't here. You know, this was all beat up. It was all ugly. Kind of like this. I should paint this. I want to paint it black, but we just haven't. It's one of those things, you know, it's the inside of the dumpster. It gets all beat up. It's always full of trash, which is a good thing. We always want to have it full of trash. So we just haven't gotten around to it. But eventually I want to paint the inside of it black, just to kind of, I don't know, make it look nice. You know, it's a dumpster, but you kind of want it to look good. You don't want it to be all ugly when you pull up to a customer's house either. You know, a client, they hire us because they want, you know, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want the nastiness of dealing with trash removal. And that's what we come in. We love the nastiness of dealing with trash removal. We'll always deal with trash removal. The nastier, the better. It's all good. All right, so then we got these little ones right here. Build. Oh, shoot. All right, there we go. This is just a little pokey. So, yeah, it didn't look like a lot, but look, it was just like up to here, you know. It didn't look like a lot. It looked like a little bit, but look at how much it filled. So that should give you a pretty good idea as to the size of the van and why it's so awesome. So I still have more room towards the front up in those. There's some doors up there and stuff. So I could still put stuff in it if I wanted to. Realistically, I think that this van right here could probably, this would be if it's just little stuff, could probably fill, you know, enough to where if you were to transfer the stuff out of here and put it in here, if you were to fill this up completely, and then you transfer the stuff that's in here and move it in this truck, you'd probably fill, I would say, about 1/3, maybe half. For sure a third. I don't know. Half is kind of pushing it, but I'd say a third. So it's a pretty awesome setup. I love it. The other thing that's nice about the van too is that it's easy to drive around, even when you have a trailer hooked up to it. The turn radius on it is pretty awesome. It's not as good as this Isuzu. With the Isuzu, you can, and the Isuzu is this truck right here. With the Isuzu, this truck, you could get into super tight neighborhoods. You could do like U-turns, you know, like a normal car. Probably even better than a normal car could. For sure better than a truck could. A regular truck. You know, this thing is a beast. I love it. But yeah, the van is on that same boat. The van could also do some pretty crazy U-turns, which is pretty sweet. And then, especially with the trailer, when you got the trailer hooked up to it, man, that helps a lot, because those U-turns on that trailer are awesome, especially when you're in a tight neighborhood. They're pretty cool. And then, mainly the thing we use the van for is like little pickups. Like maybe I didn't really know what this client was gonna have. This is a client that usually just calls us. They're like, they know how our pricing works. They know how it works. So, you know, they call us and they just schedule. They're like, hey, we know what their pricing is. And most of the time, their stuff is usually around the same amount. They don't, you know, usually have too much more or too little than what we normally pick up. So they know how it works. They know what the pricing is and all that stuff. So they usually just call us, schedule. And when that's the case, I like to bring an empty truck or a truck with at least half a load of space, just to be safe. Because I don't want to show up, you know, not have enough room. For example, I didn't want to show up with the van, not have enough room in the van, and then be like, oh man, I got to come back. Now, I'd rather show up in this. Make sure that we fit it all. And then like today, but the customer that has the trailer, they called us in the morning. We dropped it off at 8 a.m. this morning. They finished with it. They called us about, I would say an hour ago, saying that they were done. So we finished this job, came straight over here, and now we're going to go pick up the trailer. So it kind of all worked out. You know, we've been working in this area. The area where we had this van park is in the same area where we did this pickup for all this yard waste. So it worked out perfect. Worked out great. You know, and from here, I was doing some work before we did this green pickup. I was just doing some work on the truck, our other dump truck, the white truck. That truck, I was taking it had some trash in the back that was kind of loose, so I was condensing it a little bit. But yeah, I'll probably show a video of that today as well, because we have to go dump it. It's full, super full of trash. Like, oh man, yeah, that one is insanely full. We really packed it. So I have to go dump it today. But yeah, it's getting a little windy. Oh man, wind and loose yard waste or cardboard are kryptonite. It makes it so hard. It gets windy and you got little stuff like this, or, you know, especially cardboard, like flat cardboard. If it's really windy and you're doing cardboard, oh man, good luck. It is gonna suck. I remember we did a job, it was around this area. We did a job where the client moved into a new house. They moved here from Nebraska, and they had a bunch of moving boxes. Enough moving boxes that would have filled this truck for sure. It ended up filling the trailer completely. And the trailer's a little smaller capacity-wise than this truck. The trailer's 12 cubic yards. This one's 15. So it ended up filling the trailer. We were using that day. And the trailer and the van. And yeah, it was horrible. Like, it got so windy that day, and we were loading the cardboard into the truck. We were loading the cardboard into the truck, and what ended up happening was every time we would put cardboard in the truck, it would fly out. So I can't tell you how many pieces of cardboard I had to go chasing after in that neighborhood. They sucked. It sucked. It's one of those things you deal with. The other thing I don't like doing when it's windy is storage cleanouts. Storage cleanouts when it's windy, when you try to sweep it or you try to use a blower to completely clean them out, which is something we do. We try to leave we try to leave the storage unit clean out, looking like it's, you know, like it's ready for the next renter. That way the people managing the property don't have to come back to the unit and do anything with it. All they do is just put their lock on it, get it ready for rental. So we like to leave it super clean. When it's windy, super hard to do that, because you got wind blowing the trash or the dust or whatever, like little debris, little trash that kind of hard to get. You got it blowing everywhere inside the unit while you're trying to sweep it. And then the other thing that happens is, like, as you're sweeping trash, or not trash, but like dirt, dust, you know, little debris and stuff, as you're sweeping out of the unit, it blows back in. Same thing with the blower. We're using the blower to blow the stuff out. It's kind of like fighting against you and coming back in. It sucks, but we still do it because we got to. Somebody's got to do it, right? So, all right. So this is what it looks like. All the trash that was inside of the Isuzu, inside of this one, is now in here. So to give you a rough idea, it was, when it was in the Isuzu, I kind of started recording late, but it was up to here, kind of like, I'll say about here. And then it was like, maybe like halfway, but up to here. So it didn't look like a lot, you know. It didn't look like much at all. However, this is what it looks like when it's in the van. And I still have room. If I had more of those, I could still pack them in here. And then, like, let's say it got full. What I would do at that point is I would grab this, close this, and I would just keep packing. Boom, boom, boom. Keep putting it in there, putting it in there, keep putting it in there. And that's it. All right, a little update. We're going to have to ride with the windows. All right, a little update. We're going to have to ride with the windows down, because holy smokes, this stuff is stinky. Yeah, it smells really strong in here. Just, you know, like, I don't know, like leaves. I don't know. It's just overpowering. You can't even breathe. So, got the windows rolled down, and we are headed to pick up the trailer.